Hi, I'm doing this video to help you solve an equation that contains fractions. It says solve the equation for the given variable. Write your answer. If your answer is a fraction, write it in reduced fraction form. Do not convert the answer to a decimal. So the trick with any equation that has fractions is to get rid of the fractions. And to get rid of the fractions, you need to multiply by the least common multiple of the denominators, or the least common denominator, the same number that you would find when you're trying to add the fractions. This one's pretty simple, and this one I would say there's sometimes finding the least common multiple. Sometimes I can just do it by sight, and sometimes I need to do a formal drawn out process. So the least common multiple, it has to be a multiple of 2, it has to be a multiple of 6, and it has to be a multiple of 9. So we need to find, in other words, we need to find the smallest number that 2 goes into equally with numerator, 6 goes into equally, and 9 goes into equally. And so I'm just going to show you how to do it the 2 different ways, how to find the least common multiple. And with small numbers like this, this first method might be the best method. So find the least common multiple of the denominators. It means the numbers in the bottom of the fraction. And you just list the multiples. So 2, list the multiples of 2, 2, 4, 2 times 2, 2 times 1 is 2, 2 times 2 is 4, 2 times 3 is 6, 2 times 4 is 8, 2 times 2 times 5 is 10, 2 times 6 is 12, 2 times 7 is 14, 2 times 8 is 16, 2 times 9 is 18, 2 times 10 is 20, and so on. We could do 22, we could keep going, okay? And then we list the multiple of 6, so it's 6 times 2 is 12, times 3 is 18, times 4 is 24, times 5 is 30, times 6 is 36, times 7 is 42, times 8, 48, 4 times 9, 6 times 9 is 54, and so on, okay? And we can keep going on. Then there's 9, and so you have 9 times 1 is 9, 9 times 2 is 18, 9 times 3 is 9 times 3 is 9 times 27. So now I list a multiple, and you kind of list several multiples, but it's about what you keep going for a while. 9 times 4 is 36, 9 times 5 is 35. Oh, sorry, 9 times 5, 45. And so on. And so you list a ton of multiples, usually at least, especially the small numbers, you list quite a few of them, maybe 10 multiples of the small numbers. And then you just find a number that's common to all 3 lists. So notice how we want the smallest number that's common to all 3 lists. So it looks like the smallest number that's common to all 3 lists is 18. Okay, so that's one way for us to find the least common multiple of those 3 numbers is literally, and I like this method, is literally just listing the multiples and finding a multiple that's common to all 3. I like this because that's the very definition of common multiple, right? So you kind of see this displays the definition of the word and we kind of understand what the word least common multiple means just because of this example. However, a faster way of finding a least common multiple is by prime factoring each one of your numbers. 2 is just a prime by itself, but 6 can be factored to 2 times 3, and then 9 is 9 times 3 times 3. And what we do is we prime factor all the factors And then we just make sure in the least common multiple to list every factor of each one of the three numbers that we need to have it down here in the least common multiple. So like the 2 has to be down here. And then for the 6, for this number to be a multiple of 6, it has to contain a 2 and 3. So I'm going to add, I already have a 2 from this first number, but I'll add another, I'll add a 3. So now it contains it contains a 2, it contains a 2 and 3, and then it needs to contain 2 3s. So I already have 1 3 down here, so I just add 1 more. So what we do is I prime factored all 3 numbers that I wanted to find a multiple of. And then I just made sure that all the prime factors are in the LCM. But I focus on one number at a time. So I don't have, if I already have a 2 as a result of the first number, I do not have to add a second 2 if I only need 1 2 in the second, and for the second number here. So there we go, there's our least common multiple. So that would be a fast way to figure out that it was 18 as well. Okay, now this second method might be a way better method, especially if you have larger numbers. So now I go to the next step of multiplying both sides of my equation by this least common multiple of the denominators, which is 18. And when you multiply both sides of the equation, it's probably a good idea to put both sides in parentheses. And you're really going to note here that when I multiply something that has 2 terms, that we have 2 terms, y over 2, and then we also have y over 6. They're 2 different terms. So when I have 2 terms like that, I have to make sure to distribute that 18 to both of those terms. So I'm going to get 18y over 2 plus 18y over 6 equals, this 18 is, we're going to cross cancel here, divide by 9 is 1, divide by 9 is 2, and we're going to get 14, just a whole number on the other side. Now I can reduce these, 18 divided by 2, or I can just reduce this fraction, divide by 2 on bottom and top, and you get 9 over 1, or just 9y. This one's 18 divided by 6, which will be 3, so that's just 3y equals 14. So see how nice that was? Because I manufactured that number so that all the denominators were going to disappear when I multiplied, it simplified my equation. Now I have no fractions whatsoever. Now I can just add them. So 9y plus 3y is 12y. And sometimes my marker just, there we go, it goes 14. And then now I divide both sides by 12. And divide by 2 on both top and bottom, I get 7 6s. Divide by 2 is 7, divide by 2 is 6, yes. So y equals 7 6s. And there we go, that's my final answer. All right, please let me know. A big mistake that students make with these problems is they do not distribute that. They don't multiply the 18 times both of those terms. That's the big mistake they make here. Another one that they make is maybe they do know to multiply it by both terms, but what the mistake I've seen with students do is they won't write it out like I wrote it out. I wrote out 18 times each of those fractions. And they won't write out, and they'll start canceling here. Or oh, 18 and divide by 2, this is 9 and this is 1, and they'll try to do it without writing it out, and then they forget that they can't cancel this one. This number over here still needs to be multiplied by the 18 and not by the 9. So they'll try to cancel things early because they're just trying to save time, I guess, and then they make mistakes that way. So that's not the way to do it. You got to make sure the full 18 gets distributed to both terms on the left-hand side of this equation before you do any cross canceling. And even students know that 18 needs to go, but to be distributed, but they still just make mistakes because they didn't write it all out and they forgot that the 18 should have gone to 1. Okay. All right. I hope you guys have a great day. Bye.